All right, we have another identity, lots of identities in this one. So we have to prove that cosine of 2 alpha divided by 1 plus cosine of 2 alpha equals to tangent alpha over tangent 2 alpha. I think this is as good example as any to show you how to cheat. Sometimes you can't mess with one side and get to the other side, but you can meet in the middle. So we're going to mess with this, mess with that, meet in the middle, and then we're going to write it out the way it is requested. So yeah, I'm not sure we're going to recognize this when it comes our way. So let's simplify this first. Tangent alpha divided by tangent 2 alpha. Well, there is a formula for the double angle. Tangent is 2 tangent alpha divided by 1 minus tangent squared alpha. And then to divide is to multiply by the reciprocal. We get tangent alpha times 1 minus tangent squared alpha over 2 tangent alpha. And tangent alpha cancels. So this is 1 minus tangent squared alpha over 2. So what we're going to do, we're going to massage this thing until we will get there. And then we're going to go backwards. We're going to say kind of pompously, oh, and this is that, and this is that, and that's that. So the left-hand side is, actually, I'm going to start a new page. So you see what I mean by cheating here. So the left-hand side is cosine of 2 alpha and 1 plus cosine of 2 alpha. And we want basically this. All right, so, well, I have no idea. Let's just go with the cosine squared minus sine squared, and we can always switch to another one by expressing one in terms of the other via the Pythagorean identity. 1 plus cosine squared alpha minus sine squared alpha. And what do we want? We want, so let's look at the denominator first. The denominator is way too complicated. We should cancel out stuff, and especially that 2 there. So what if we say 1 minus sine squared alpha is cosine squared alpha? 1 minus sine squared alpha is cosine squared alpha. Then we just have 2 cosine squared alpha. It's still too much, but oh, we're there actually. But if we were to cancel out cosine squared, we would be there where we want to be. And we're there because upstairs is still cosine squared alpha minus sine squared alpha. And now let's divide both upstairs and downstairs by cosine squared alpha. Cosine squared alpha divided by itself is 1. Sine squared alpha divided by cosine squared alpha is tangent squared alpha. And 2 cosine squared alpha minus cosine squared alpha is 2. So now we reach this point. And then we're just going to say, well, wait a minute. And now we're just going to write this backwards. Because see, now we're complicating things. This is basically the simplest thing. So we're going to say, well, that's the same as 1 minus tangent squared alpha over 2 times tangent alpha times tangent alpha. And it looks like it's coming out of the blue. It doesn't, looks like, wow, how did you come up with that one? And then that's equal to tangent alpha divided by basically the rest flipped, which is 2 tangent alpha over 1 minus tangent squared alpha. And that's tangent alpha over tangent 2 alpha, which is the right-hand side. So this happens quite often when your job is to mess with one side until you get to the other side. And if you cannot do that, maybe you can meet in the middle, and then when you write it out, then you can pretend that you went from one side to the other. Thank you for watching.